I've often said communism is bad. Now, why is communism bad is the big question. A lot of people nowadays think communism is good. We've seen a large uproar of students from colleges that are joining CPUSA. Now, that's their freedom. They can do that. But here's the real problem with communism, and that is that it blames everything on the current political and social climate. If capitalists were to march out today and say, the world is bad because there are communists and socialists, I'm sure the socialists would not be happy about this. The communists would be furious about this. But that is what the communists do. They will sit there and they will say, for example, greed is a product of capitalism. Now, we know that's not true. It seems more likely that greed is a product of us. We make the bad action. We decide to be greedy. It is in our human nature. Is it good? No. But that's what it is. Capitalism was implemented to utilize that greed. It's a system that accepted that the greed was always going to exist, so what we can do is we can take that greed and use it for our own benefit. Use it to run the market, to run the economy. Where if you want yourself to receive, you must give. And quite frankly, it's a genius idea. Utilize the natural sin of others in order to make the world prosper. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying communists are 100% wrong. I can't prove they are. Why can't I prove they're wrong? For the same reason they can't prove that they're right. Because we've never seen communism carried out in a way that worked. Every single time it's been tried to... Every single time they've tried to carry it out, to take the Bolsheviks. The Bolsheviks were a group of communists. Russia murdered the Romanovs. Some good stuff happened in Russia under the Bolsheviks. For example, under the Bolsheviks, reading soared. People knew how to read. They were getting educated. But it didn't matter. It still failed. The economy failed. People failed. They fell short. Why? Communists say that the circumstances were bad. The economy was bad. It was all the circumstance of Russia. Well, but have we ever reached an economy that communists have declared good? North Korea has not. Venezuela has not. Iran has not. China has not. So, they claim that once true communism is implemented, it will erase all greed. But they've never seen true communism implemented. I can't say that they're wrong. But what I can say is, are they willing to risk billions of lives over something that might not be true? How much death and destruction do they have to cause before they finally say, maybe we're wrong? That's the biggest issue with communism, is that we've already tried it. It didn't work. Not only did it not work, it created mass suppression of the people. This system is not perfect here in America. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's intelligently designed, but it's not perfect. No system will be perfect. But the problem with communism is that it relies too much on unknowns. It's a glorious promise. But do you really think that greed will be completely erased when people are given everything that they need? And if you do, where do you draw the line? What makes you think the right circumstances are ever going to pop up? Ronald Reagan once said that socialism, which is basically a prelude to communism, and let's just face that. He said socialism was a system that only worked in heaven, where they don't need it, and in hell, where they've already got it. These systems, they are necessary for a thriving country. But we cannot rely on promises. Capitalism has worked. Communism has not. So, I ask this, and I want you to ponder this. When is the body count, the amount of lives taken, the amount of families separated, when is it too much? Because frankly, I drew that line at the Romanovs. I drew it there. I think that's a difference between a capitalist and a communist. And that is that the capitalist is greedy for money, for wealth, for possession. The communist is greedy for approval. He wants to be right. And so they will stop at nothing until they prove they're right, even if they're wrong. Because they have no idea if they're right. They don't. They have no proof. Don't get me wrong. It would be wonderful if communism could thrive. If by some miracle we could achieve the promises of communism. But I'm not willing to risk every single American life over a promise that, frankly, for several centuries has been very empty. I don't think many of you are either. So I implore you to think about this. And by the way, there's nothing evil about you if you're a communist. There's nothing awful about you if you're a communist. You're a person just like me. You matter just like me, just as much as me. God made you equal to me. I am equal to you. It is the one equality that does not take away from liberty. It is the equality that God gave us. And that right there is probably one of the greatest miracles ever. But just remember, communism is a suppressive group. A lot of communists want to go in and say, we're not going to suppress people. We want to give people freedom. We want to give them equality. But the problem is, when you give too much equality, you will take away their freedom. In reality, freedom encompasses religion, the ability to choose God or walk away from him. Freedom encompasses the ability to have fair election. Freedom holds your ability to disagree with your neighbor. Freedom holds your ability to be gay, be trans. Freedom holds your ability to disagree with gay and trans people. It holds your ability to disagree with religious people. So ask yourself, does a belief system that completely does away with all of these separating groups, does that really support freedom? If you no longer are able to carry your own religion, does that support freedom? I don't think so. If each person is equal, how can we be free? I will give you one example of a group of people that were equal. Just open your history book. It doesn't really matter what generation. Go anywhere in world history and find a section on slaves. Slaves are equally suppressed. Slaves are equally mistreated. Slaves are in bondage equally amongst each other. They have no liberty. Equality is not everything. It sounds amazing. But equality is not our strength. Our strength is more realistically a mixture between liberty and equality. I hope that's something that, if I can leave you with anything, if anything I say reaches to anybody, that is what it is. And I hope that they realize that the one being in the universe who is described to have carried out that equality is Jesus Christ. An equality that does not have chains attached. He loves us equally, so much so that he allows us to disobey. It is full equality and full liberty. And it's the only time we'll ever see it. As always, if you like the video, please subscribe. I try to post every single day something. If not a video, a short. I always have something to say. And once again, I thank you for anybody who has subscribed. And please, be thinking about this. Because it might just seem like a simple little party to you. But I can tell you right now, Nicholas II, I could tell you right now that Anastasia, Alexandra, it's not a simple party to them. And I pray that we don't see somebody like them again. I pray we don't see a situation happen where a group of people decides that their oppression has warranted their ability to take a life that God made. Because that's just not the case. Once again, please subscribe. It'll help out a lot. This is a growing channel, and I want it to grow. I hope it can grow fast, and I will always be speaking out. I will always be giving advice, speaking my mind. I'm constantly learning, as you should be as well. So, with that being said, have a wonderful day. God bless you. God bless America. And goodbye.